You know, there's an old saying that great fences make good neighbors. And if you're looking for an affordable and quality property fencing option, choose Heritage Fence Company in Germantown, Tennessee. Now, they specialize in all kinds of custom fence builds, no matter what you're needing, whether it's a privacy fence, ornamental, a three rail farm, or they'll even do an electrical braid farm fence and pool safety fences as well. So you can call Corey or John and they'll work with you to build a fence that suits your needs and your wants. 901 326 2081. Corey, John, and their team, they're prepared to work with you to deliver high quality fencing options for your home or business. Heritage Fence Company, 901 326 2081. Call Corey or John today. Heritage Fence Company, 901 326 2081.
I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Just Off Markham. I'm your host, Jason Pattison, and it's been a little while. We've been doing the SEC West Spring Series and on 4-Star Radio, and you know we have a really special guest coming back from Louisville, Kentucky, and I've got Deek, co-owner of Mage. Man, whoop. Hold on just a second. It's not letting me unmute your mic, my man. What in the world is going on with this?
There you go.
There we go. Hey, man.
Yep. What's going on, man? Yeah, no, co-owner. It's me and like 300 of my closest friends of people I've never met till Kentucky. And then they were like, "You're Deek? You're the guy?" I'm like, "I'm the guy."
So I'm just going to jump right into this. So how did the opportunity present itself to get in with the ownership with Mage?
It's through a company called Commonwealth, and they basically write out shares of a horse ownership to make it affordable for guys like you and me. And it's $50 a share. And I got in with them last year because when 2020 hit, there's another app that shares out horse racing, and I got in one of their horses. And the owner of Commonwealth, Chase Chamberlain, reached out to me on social media, and he was like, "Hey, I see you're with this group. We're doing this kind of too. Would you be interested in a horse?" And his quote was, "I've got a monster coming to Hot Springs. Do you want to be a part of it?" And I'm an Oaklawn kid, and I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to be a part of a monster. Who is it?" It turned out to be We the People. He ran last year at Oaklawn twice, and won his first two races. Went on to the Arkansas Derby, went way wide, got like 6th or 7th. But he did end up going to the Belmont and got 4th, and it was just an awesome experience. I got in the winner's circle with him through the Commonwealth people. And the weird thing with horse racing is like all the people that the majority of people, because Arkansas Hot Springs is, there's not an airport near it. And, you fly, all the horse racing people are down in Miami or Kentucky, and Louisville, Lexington, and then California and New York. So nobody came to Oakland to watch We the People. And so when We the People would win, it would literally be me, my daughter, my wife, my mom, my dad, Chase, the owner of Commonwealth, and like one other guy. So on social media, it looks like I own We the People, but no, it was just like Mage, where there was over 100 of us for We the People. Just nobody came to Oakland, and we had such a good time with We the People. The Commonwealth team bought their horses for 2023, and I think they bought like 6 or 7 at once. And I text Chase. I'm like, "All right, buddy, let's do it again. Who do you like?" I go, "I know you got 7." I go, "I'm not going to buy into 7 or 8 horses." I go, "Which one do you like?" And he told me a year ago. He goes, "Well, I really like this one named Mage." And I go, "Yeah, who trains him? Baffert, Pletcher?" And he goes, No. It's a guy named by Gustavo Delgado." And of course, I go, "Who's that?" He goes, "Oh, he's won the Triple Crown in Venezuela 3 times. He's awesome." And I go, "Okay, well, buddy, you got me on We the People. So if you like Mage, I'm going to bet Mage."
Yeah.
And we bought into Mage, and I've been saying his name for a year, man, and he won that first race in Miami, I think February, and he won from the lead, which is weird watching him now come from behind because I thought he needed the lead. And then all the gambling sites put him on the futures list for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And I think that particular day on my Oaklawn Anywhere app or something, I was doing pretty good. So I was like, you know what? I'll put $20 on my horse to win. He was 50 to 1 at the time. So I think I bet on him to win. He's a futures bet, so I didn't even know he was going to be in the Derby. But I'm like, what's $20? That was my biggest bet of the Kentucky Derby. Was that 50 to 1 bet back in February?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Looking at the race itself,
Right.
all the pundits, all the talking heads said that Mage needed to break early in order to have a
Right.
chance. And Mage really wasn't in it until that final turn on the final straightaway right there. And when Mage started to break, you had Verify and Kingsbarn that were neck and neck for, I would say, almost three-fourths of the race.
Yeah, I mean, being at the Derby, man, and where we were, they run right by you, and then you're watching on a screen, and then you look, and you're like, and then they're coming down the stretch. It's 2 minutes. It's the best 2 minutes of sports, but being right down there, it's so loud, I couldn't hear anything. I remember calling my dad, and hey, Dad, we did it, and I was telling everybody, like you just said, I mean, kind of like Randy Moss would say on NBC. I'm like, if he gets a good break and he can be mid-pack, we'll win it. That's how I believed it 100%. If he gets a good break and he can be mid-pack, we'll beat everybody. And I thought I saw that break where they pinched him, right? The two horses came inside and he had to pull them back. That I saw, and I go, okay, well, let's just get up to mid-pack. And I was watching a horse, but I was watching the wrong horse. I'm pointing to my wife. I'm like, and there he is. I was probably pointing to I don't know who. But it was not him because that horse started fading. I go, well, that was a good run. And then I go, who's that horse on the outside? And again, I'm front row, mid stretch with a furlong to go. So when the track announcer, Larry Comas, goes, and with a furlong to go, like it's when he made his move on two fills. Dude, I lost my mind. I blacked out. I run up the steps. I'm screaming at people. And people are like, the race isn't over. And I'm like, it's over. Because I know that move.
Yeah.
Now, I came back and I watched it on YouTube, right? And I'm like, oh, I went a little early because he could have been caught by Angel's Empire in hindsight, but probably not. But when he flew by my perspective, I was like, whatever horse that is, which happened to be my horse, I go, that horse is winning. And he did, and it was the best. The best,
So
man.
when it was over and you saw Mage's name up on the board as the winner, was it just like a shock and a numb feeling through your body, or what were you feeling?
Here's exactly what happened. I told you I ran up the steps screaming, so I did not see him cross the finish line. My back was turned because I did like a Steph Curry, shoot it, boom, game over, bitches. Last, and so my wife comes up the steps and I'm screaming, I'm yelling with Churchill's employees, and this big guy, big Orlando Pace, lineman looking guy comes over. He's like, man, I bet that horse for you, man. He worked there. And he goes, I saw your hat, I saw your drip. And I'm like, I'm one of the owners. Where's the owner's box? Because you're one of the owners. And I put my hand on his shoulder and I grabbed my wife's hand. And this guy it's like I had security. He goes, out of the way. We got owners coming. We got owners coming through. Walks me through the owner's circle. Dude, you've
That's
been to
awesome.
sports events. You got to have a lanyard and stuff. Everybody had lanyards. And and they're like, we need to see your paddock pass. And I'm like, here's my paddock pass. And we walk right by. Now, granted, with Commonwealth, everybody gets it's a big ownership group. And I know I was looking at the winner circle picture. I'm like, I wasn't the only one out there without lanyards. And I think Churchill did a great job with like, okay, we've got 250 owners here. We're just gonna have to accommodate them. And man, it was awesome. And they were cool. And what was it like when you're out there, man? To be right there where we've watched the Kentucky Derby our whole lives, to see Javier come around and walk down the track and the crowd goes crazy and he waves and then he comes by and he's throwing roses off the rose blanket to his family members and he's throwing roses in the air and praising God, and but he's 4 feet from me. You're like, oh my gosh, it was awesome.
Deek, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the roses that were there on that the Photoshop that we got there, are those the roses from the actual blanket that they put over the horse when they walked into the winter circle?
The roses that I'm holding in that picture that you put behind me, those are from but those are from the winter circle, but they're not from the blanket, but they're from the winter circle. And we took 4 of them, and then a photographer caught us, and he's like, "Hey, would you give me one of those, and I'll send you all my pictures?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, sure." We kept 3 of them, and then I got a lady here in Springdale that's gonna preserve them. I don't know what she's gonna do, but my wife's like, "Call her." I'm like, "All right." Love to give her a shout out, but I don't know her name.
So
But they're from the winter circle. They're not from the blanket.
okay, gotcha. And so you get back to Fayetteville,
Yeah.
Springdale, and what has your life been like these last 48 hours, or well, I 24 hours ish when you got back into town?
Oh man, I mean, everybody wants to talk to me, and I'm like, you guys know, I only got like $100 on this horse, right? It wasn't, but it's a great story that Commonwealth does. It lets people like me who can invest in a horse for $100. It doesn't even have to be 100. I did 100. It could be as little as 50, and everybody, news crews, radio stations. I talked to the sports animal in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Mhm.
Talked to KRMG in Tulsa. I've talked to Channel 2 in Tulsa, wanted my stuff. And, I am in media. So they're all a lot of those people are my friends and have contacts to me. So I'm like, sure. First, I thought it was just like that. Like, oh, my news friend wants to talk to me. I'm like, oh, no. People want to know about this story because it's everybody who loves horse racing can be a part of it with Commonwealth. It's great. It's been the
What's
most fun. And I'm 2 for 2, man. I won the Kentucky Derby, but I mean, my other horse was in the Belmont, so that's pretty freaking good.
Dude, that's incredible. And what's so nice and what's so relatable with the story is that, like you said, myself, you, anybody else that
Yeah.
lives down the street can get in on a horse that
Right.
may have maybe a Kentucky Derby winner or a Belmont Stakes or a Preakness. And whenever you have that ownership, it may not be that big, but you own it. And like you feel
Yeah.
like, hey, this is mine.
Yeah, man. I feel like We the People is mine because I was telling you, I don't know if we were on the air for that part, but
Not
nobody
yet.
flies into Hot Springs. So his first 2 wins for We the People, a stakes winner. He won the Peter Pan Stakes. He was 4th in the Belmont. Were me, my daughter, my wife, my mom, my dad, one other guy, and the owner of Commonwealth Chase. And we're just sitting like a family of 7, like, hey, and now then you see the winner's circle for Mage the other day. And yeah, there was 300 of us, and it's still the same. It was awesome. We're a community. They do a great job with their app of sharing updates and all that stuff. And then you start following these other strangers that are, on Instagram. You're like, oh, yeah, you're an owner. I'm an owner. And you see each other at the track and you're hugging strangers because they got Mage hats on. And we all made, they have the
Cool.
official Mage hat, but other people made their own. I made my own. It's been awesome.
Man, that's really incredible. And so, what went into the whole was it a quick yes? We're going to go no matter what, or was it something you kind of
Uh,
thought about? And do we go to Churchill Downs? Do we not? Do we watch it at home and have our own home party? What went
it,
into
the
that decision?
Well, you know what? I've been into horse racing my whole life, and I've been going to Oaklawn since I was 7 or 8. My grandma would take me, and then teachers would let me out of school to go bet for them at Jesseville, Arkansas. Shout out Jesseville, Arkansas, Miss Levine. She would give me money, and
Uh,
she'd check me out. She'd give me a pass to leave school with my buddy Lane, and we would drive to Oaklawn. You bring a teacher back, $200 the next day. She's like, hell yeah, you can leave whenever you want. And I've just
that's
loved it
awesome.
my whole life. And my buddy John, who does a show with me,
Yeah.
he said on the air, he goes, if you don't go to the Derby when you've got a horse in it, then why do you even do this? And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I couple connections, have a buddy who knows a buddy who works at Churchill, got me in with the lady for ticketing, and they have back of house tickets
Mhm.
that they hold for owners, and stuff. And that's how I was able to just be like, yeah, I mean, they treated us just like they would an owner.
Yeah.
And it was, quote, sold out. I could have gone in on the infield, but when I talked to this lady at Churchill, her name's Janet. Shout out to Janet. She's like, you don't want to be on the infield. You won't see one live horse, and that's true. And you just got to make the financial decision with your wife of like, hey, honey, can we do this? And she's like, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. If we're not, I've always wanted to go. I've never been. So to go my first time and have Mage win, I'm just like, oh, this is just how it is. You just go and win every time. But I know that's not how it is. And it was just, no. It was a pretty quick decision by my wife of like, she knew it was important to me. And once you get over the sticker shock of how much it costs, you just got to go, all right, we'll just pay it off.
So I guess the next question is, do you go to that second leg of the Triple Crown?
If he officially gets entered, I mean, I've been asked that question all day today, and I'm like, man, I mean, it's only like 48 hours old, so I don't have to go to Preakness. I don't have to go to Baltimore. If I don't really feel like I want to go to Baltimore. If he wins that, when he wins that, let's say, especially now that Forte's not running, I would 100% go to Belmont. But I mean, it's May 20th, man. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
I've been to Pimlico before. It ain't Churchill. It's cool. I hope he does go. I hope he does win, but I think I may do your second option if I have a big party, especially now that I've done a bunch of interviews and I could have somebody here up in Northwest Arkansas have a big watch party. We could make it a huge John and Deek thing. It'd be pretty rad.
Oh, dude, that would be completely cool. Yeah, definitely. Because
I think that's what I'd rather do. I don't do airplane. I don't know if you listen to my show, but I have a rule where I do an airplane if it's I don't do layovers. So if somebody can find me a direct flight to Baltimore, I'd do that.
No, I completely understand. And also with the climate, the way with travel these days right now, it's horrendous. And
well, I did a Rage Against the Machine show with my buddy Chuck from Tulsa, and it was a direct flight to DC, but we still were stuck in an airport from like 2 p.m. to midnight. So it don't, even my rule of no layovers, it don't matter. They'll get you, and I don't want to do that again. So probably not. Now I can get a direct flight to New York in June. That'll do.
Hey, yeah, no, definitely, man, that will do. So with if you guys do decide to do it, will it be a Mage party or will it be a Loyal and Royal party?
Oh, it's a Mage party. John's made it very clear that because people are texting him and he's like, man, this is Deek's thing, and that Mage is the horse, man. I'm just happy to be part of this Commonwealth team, and they picked the horse, and I was smart enough to go, all right, yeah, give me part of that one. They had 6 or 7, and I didn't buy all of them. I'll tell you that. But it's only $50. I tell you, I'll probably buy the rest of them till I'm dead. I'm like, why not? It's like a lottery ticket, I'm like,
exactly, yeah. That's incredible, man. I want to thank you really for coming on.
Sure.
And
man, I'm happy to talk about it.
I know that your day's been pretty full. Actually, I saw a video that John had posted on your guys' loyal on your fan page, and it was like, this has been going on all day long.
Yeah. KNWA came up today. Business Journal called me. I did those radio interviews in Tulsa. And as we were talking, Courtney Mims from KNWA was like, great job on the news. I'm like, did it air? I don't even know what I did. I don't even know. Somebody else sent it to me. Well, but it was awesome.
Man, Deek, I want to thank you for jumping on with us. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know that you got to get some rest now and try to recuperate a little bit. And whenever the next leg of the Triple Crown comes around, we watching and cheering on for Mage, man.
Dude, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to talk anymore, anything horse racing, I'll talk all day on that for sure.
Good stuff, man. Well, for myself, Jason Patterson, and Deek, thank you for joining this special edition of Just Off Markham. I'm your host, Jason Patterson.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Got it.